would be such a mistake in my book.
Hi there, guys. Welcome to the Football Social. My name is Skibby. I'm joined today by ConRiddle. Hello, Con.
Hello, you okay?
I'm very well, thank you. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Big day
Good
in
stuff.
the
Big
Premier
day.
League.
Absolutely. Absolute shock story coming out of the Premier League today. Thomas Tuchel sacked as manager of Chelsea after a very disappointing, to say the least, 1-0 loss to Dinamo Zagreb. But to be honest, is that the story? Is that the only reason he's lost his job? Maybe we'll jump into it a little bit more. Guys, if you're new here, drop a subscribe, comment what you think about the situation, don't forget to leave a like, and let's get cracking into the video. So Thomas Tuchel has been sacked as Chelsea manager. He's left just 6 days after they broke the Premier League transfer spending record in one window of 253 million. So that straight away doesn't make sense to me. We've built you a squad. We've broken the records to build you this squad. 6 days later, that's it. You're done.
It's not just that though. It's also like the players they've brought in. Like they literally brought Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in because of his relationship with Thomas Tuchel. And Thomas Tuchel was like, right, we need a striker. We need someone clinical up top to put these away. I know this guy. I've worked with him in the past. Yes, he hasn't performed so well recently, but I can get him firing again like he was at Dortmund. They were like, safe blood, safe blood.
How do you do, fellow kids?
I've got you. We'll put the money down. We'll bring him in. Right, week later, had one game together. You're out the door.
I mean, to be honest, I've spoken to a lot of Chelsea fans who I'm friends with, and I just think that their whole transfer window just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, yes, there were some areas they definitely needed to improve. They got rid of Lukaku and Werner, who ultimately wasn't firing for them. But at the same time, is Aubameyang really a step up? I mean, we all watched, All or Nothing Arsenal. He had problems on and off the pitch. He just wasn't performing he had problems off the pitch. He wasn't performing on the pitch. Therefore, does that really think about that is the kind of guy that we need at our football club to sort of get us goals with Lukaku and Werner leaving? Not for me. And I think they grossly overspent as well. I mean, Fofana, 72 million. If that name was Maguire, everyone would be laughing about it. So I think it's in the same bracket. I mean, that's just me. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that. Kukurea, I think, is a great player, but 60 million. And then Koulibaly, for me, I'm going to put it out there. I think he's past his best. I've seen some Napoli highlights. I've seen how he plays, and I think it was the Napoli-Liverpool game from either a year or 2 years ago where he got absolutely run ragged one night from Salah. And I know you do get run ragged by Salah, but oh boy, it was a tough watch. And
but
for
to come
35
in and replace Rudiger as well, who was a wall for them last year.
If you think about Rudiger, he's a pacey, strong player.
Bringing in
and
a
you replaced him with
32-year-old
who's not pacey.
who's not pacey, lost any pace that he's got. It's tough. And then you partner him with Thiago Silva at the back, and I know they've got Fofana now, who's got that a bit more pace. But obviously he only played last night, but he didn't set the world alight. Same with Aubameyang.
Aubameyang's not going to be fit, I don't think. But it's totally bizarre, and I think there's been some grumblings behind the scenes where apparently Tuchel has had too much say in transfers, which I've never heard of this in terms of management. And I think, isn't that like the holy grail? Like, you want this as a manager. You want to have the say of what players you can bring in. So apparently he was having too much time in the scoring, of scouting of players and knowing who to bring in. But surely you ask any manager in the football league, or even a manager in any field, just to say, I can bring in who I want to build this team. That's a great thing to have, isn't it? And it just seems that he's
and
chosen
not just that, but for Todd Boehly to give him such power over transfers and then make this decision so soon after the transfer window is crazy, because whoever they bring in now, they've got to deal with Tuchel's players up until January at minimum. They've got to follow that style of play now because they've sort of been pigeonholed down there. And I genuinely just don't understand the sacking. I think it's harsh anyway, but the timing of it is absolutely mental to me.
What do you reckon Tuchel's win percentage is?
I reckon it across all competitions or just the Prem?
All competitions.
I reckon it's 47%. I'm going to guess low.
Way higher.
Is it?
Way higher. So Tuchel's record, he managed 100 games for Chelsea.
Yeah.
He won 63 of them.
That's ridiculous,
and then
isn't
drew
it?
19 and 18 defeats. And that includes 3 wins and 2 defeats on penalties. So if you take away the luck of penalties, he actually only lost 16 games. And he obviously delivered the Champions League in 2021, Super Cup, and the FIFA World Club Cup.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said that, I thought, oh, it's gonna be low. You know, this is gonna be like, well, actually, he's only won about 15 games, but that is ridiculous.
63% win record, and you get the sack.
Yeah, and
no
you
one is
brought
safe.
home. If you've brought home the Champions League, the Super, like, what is a success then?
Yeah, what is deemed a failure?
Yeah,
if that's also a failure, like how long would have Fergie got?
Exactly.
He would have been sacked
starting
after a
to
few
look
years.
over his shoulder at this rate. You know.
Well, you've got to be. I mean, it just seems to be knee-jerk
Didn't he reach
reaction.
a final last year as well? Like the Carabao Cup final, wasn't that them and Liverpool, or the FA Cup? Like it's crazy that that's deemed not good enough for Chelsea.
Given the evidence that we've sort of talked about, do you think it was the right decision?
No, definitely not. No, it's the most mental. I know there was Chelsea fans that were actually asking for this, right? But it's not. If he gets sacked, that is one thing. I think that's bad enough on its own, because I don't think he should have been sacked. It's the timing of it that is just beyond insane. Like, it makes zero sense to me at all. I cannot see of a possible benefit that Chelsea get out of this, and we'll go on to like who they're looking to replace him. Irrelevant of that, I cannot see how this benefits Chelsea at all. Thomas Tuchel comes out of this a lot better than Chelsea does, because for me, this is the new, especially their new ownership's been there less than like 100 days. They said in their statement, right? They're coming up to their 100th day or whatever. Ridiculous to come in and then within 3 months make this kind of decision to sack the man that brought you one of only 2 European trophies.
Yeah, I mean, the ownership for me has always looked a bit weird. And to be honest, this could be because I'm one of those people that like to think, you know, you're a billionaire. Good for you, right? Throw your money into the business, but don't try and run that business yourself. Bring in the football minds to run that business for you. And for me, Billy just seems to be really hands-on. Todd Boehly. Yeah. Tom Boehly. He just seems really hands-on. So, I mean, when they were signing players, he
himself like the chairman, right?
Yeah, he was next to players, like holding the shirt when they were signing. And I get, mate, that's your 50 million investment and stuff like that. But at the same time, where's your director of football? Where's your head of recruitment? Even have a footballing-minded CEO to sort of handle that day-to-day for you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as a Fulham fan, I'm loving seeing Chelsea in turmoil because this is beautiful. But not, you know, a couple of days before we're due to play them, because it's just going to be new manager bounce and bloody typical. But, like, you just see the owner on his yacht, whatever, but he has the footballing mind, doing the business and getting a squad together. And that's exactly what I feel should be a football club. And I know there's a lot of people saying, oh yeah, these people, they don't care about us, you know, they just think of it as a business. But at the end of the day, it kind of is. in terms of their money, their investment that they're putting money in. But just get a footballing mind to run the business. And for me, he's just been too hands-on.
Businesses ever since Rupert Murdoch got his hands on the rights, you know, and it turned into this money-making machine. But it's been proven the best way to earn money as a football club is to get results on the pitch. And in order to get results on the pitch, you need to put someone in charge of the overall of the running of the club who understands football. Todd Boehly, I know he's probably always wanted to own a football club. He probably always has watched soccer, as he'd call it. He's not. He doesn't know it. He doesn't have a clue how to run a football club. So appoint himself as chairman is the most big-headed, stupid thing I think an owner can do.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's bizarre. And I mean, we're talking about the timings, and I mean, yeah, I think it's a completely knee-jerk reaction. But if there's been some grumblings behind the behind the scenes, potentially that's kind of the only excuse Boehly needed to oust him. But I mean, when we're talking about timing, the only reason that this would be a good time to sack Tuchel because you have somebody in mind, which I guess leads us to the next point of what's next for Chelsea. And if you believe the reports, they're looking straight at Graham Potter, which I think is a very strange way to go.
I don't think it's necessary. I think he'll end up going because Chelsea are a big club. They can offer a lot of money, and when you've been sort of restricted by a budget that Brighton have, I think it's a very enticing thing to go to a club that's just spent 250 million on all these players, all these big names, and you think any manager has the self-confidence to think I can turn that around.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it would be such a mistake in my book for Potter to go there. I can't.
Absolutely.
He's running such a good ship at Brighton. He's doing so well there. I really can't see the benefit of him going.
Yeah, I completely agree. But the only thing that worries me is that if you look at Graham Potter's record, so everyone is remembering this amazing manager that he's done a great job at Brighton. Don't get me wrong. I think he has been probably one of the best managers in the Premier League in the last 4 years, just by far. But if you look at his first season with Brighton, he finished 15th. In the second season with Brighton, he finished 16th. It's a slow burn. And I mean, and then I think they last season was his highest point, and I think they were in the top half. So he has that time to build something. Yeah. And I mean, given the evidence that we've seen from Boehly with this knee-jerk sacking, it's almost like, you know, Abramovich reincarnated. He's still going to be sacking managers left, right, and centre. So that's a good fit for Chelsea. But it's just, is Potter going to get that time at Chelsea? And for me, I don't think he is. I mean, Potter may think that 4 years into his career at Brighton, now is the right time for that big move. But I mean, Chelsea are going to be expecting big things. And if he doesn't do it instantly, he's going to get sacked.
That's why I think bringing in someone like Pochettino, someone with experience with big clubs, big expectations, big names, big egos, makes a lot more sense right now to steady the ship. Because Potter's going to go in there, and for the first 3 months, he's going to be learning on the job. He's not going to have any of the players. I know he obviously knows Cucurella.
Which would be an awkward conversation.
Which would be an awkward conversation, yeah. But he's going to have to be, earning the respect of the players already there. Whereas you go someone like Poch, and I know Chelsea fans have been saying they don't want him because of the Spurs links, which, I get, because it seems tribal, but that's what football is at the end of the day. It is tribal.
Yeah.
But it just made it, for me, right now, in this situation, getting someone who has zero experience in managing a big club when you've just had Thomas Tuchel seems ridiculous. Seems crazy. A week after the transfer window is closed.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's. I completely agree. I think Pochettino is the right move, potentially just to the end of the season. Somebody who has the experience of that pressure and just can sort of drag you kicking and screaming through the season, and then potentially look at Potter in the summer when he can then build a team and use the pre-season to sort of learn. I think that makes way more sense. They could also look. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say the argument there is would Pochettino sign a contract just for the 1 year, and and be expected to be not the full guy, but have to deal with all the issues that Tuchel left. Because let's not forget, right? I know we're saying Tuchel shouldn't have been sacked, and I genuinely do believe it. They haven't played well this season.
No,
they didn't play well like the end of last season. It's been pretty poor recently. They've been the most boring team to watch by far. So there is work to do there.
The other alternative is the third time interim manager. Bring Gus Hiddink back. Gus Hiddink, steady the ship until the end of the season. I think he's only the assistant manager of Australia at the moment. So bring him in, steady the ship, and then bring in Potter in the summer. I think would be ideal. But I think it's quite slim pickings for a manager at the moment, which I think would also not really work in Brighton's favour if they were to lose Potter. I mean, who would they look towards? Scott Parker?
Yeah.
It just baffles me what they could go for, but hopefully they get a chunky compensation package if they do have to go down that avenue.
Well, exactly. It's such a strange situation, that football club. I genuinely thought we might be past the Abramovich era of just sacking managers willy-nilly, but I don't even think Abramovich would have got rid of Tuchel at this point.
I don't think he would. He would have liked to have seen at least some attempt of return.
Yeah, especially
the investment.
Giving him 250 million to spend a week ago. It's mental. But do you know the stat? So obviously Chelsea spent 250 million on players this summer. Do you know how much Dinamo Zagreb spent?
About 2.5 million.
5 mil, yeah.
5 mil.
5 mil.
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh god.
It's not great. It just shows what heart and the actual willingness to perform will do over big salaries. So there you go.
Well, congratulations to them.
Yeah. I'm sure Tuchel appreciate. Hey, he's loving life right now. He's like, I don't have to deal with those people anymore. I've got a massive payoff. I'm gonna go to, I don't know who's looking for managers at the moment. There's no real big clubs looking for managers at the minute, is there?
Not yet.
The start of the season, isn't it? So, but they each just go on holiday for a few months. Yeah. Might turn up at Bournemouth. You never know. Right, guys. So feel free to let us know below, especially if you're a Chelsea fan. What do you think of this sacking? Are we wrong? Was it the right decision at the right time? Let us know down below. Also, do you think Graham Potter is the right man to take charge at Stamford Bridge? Feel free to comment that down below. The links to both myself and Skibby are down below in the description as well. Skib, anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
Nothing else from me, but hope Chelsea mess it up at the weekend.
Fingers crossed. For the sake of Fulham. I got Mitro bagging a brace, 2-1 win.
Take that all day long.
Anyway, cheers guys. We'll speak to you soon. See you in the next video.